If a man came along, whatever, let's say y'all both make $500K a year. A man comes along, he's making $70K. He got a business plan. He got a vision. He's working towards that day in and day out. And you would have to look up at him on all the intangibles. You may be looking down financially, but he got all the other intangibles in place. Does he get a chance?
No.
Another one. Fellas, I know I don't have to repeat myself, but you can keep thinking that these types of women value the other important things about you, but they do not lie. So you do not have to guess. You do not have to assume. They are telling you the truth. They do not give a fuck about anything else but your income.
Do you put him on?
No.
So much for the helpmeet. Helpmeet is a position God ordained. These women do not have an ounce of righteousness in their blood. Now I have to warn you guys. There are so many women who think like this. You have to be extremely careful.
No.
But because a lot of y'all are pricing yourselves out of good men.
I say, no, I would rather be single.
This motherfucker.
This is the thing.
Wow.
Let me tell you why. Because I don't think, for me, let me speak for me, and this is why it goes back to the beginning, rank yourself. I have gotten to a certain point because I've built to a certain point. I am disciplined in everything. I'm disciplined in relationship with God, in my emotions, in my mentality, in my energy, in my body, and how I eat. I am very disciplined.
Bullshit. Guys, if a woman claims to be walking with God, that automatically implies humility, service, submission, and a willingness to build with someone. Instead, her statement communicates status-based hypergamy, pride, and transactional frame for relationships. Biblical feminine energy helps multiply what a man already has. Y'all know about the book of Ruth, right? Ruth partnered with Boaz before he poured anything into her. Esther submitted and changed an entire kingdom in the process. That means she sees herself as a competitor, not a helper. By definition, a helpmate assists in the elevation of the man she's paired with. If she refuses to help him grow, she's disqualifying herself from the very role God designed her for. That woman got to be about 40 years old, and she does not sound like she maintains purity from 18 up to now. The energy she is given is competitor energy. Fellas, we have to be aware. Because women's ability to climb to financial success, they will no longer see themselves as helper to any man. They are now our competitors. But the question is, how is she my competitor when she wants men and I want women? Well, she is not competing for that. She is competing for who gets to set the terms of the relationship. And she will die on a sword before any man who does not earn as much as her come in to try to set the terms, because she would be forced to let him lead and set the terms because of her allegiance to God. So she has to force herself to only deal with men who out-earn her. And the reason she likely has a match is because she wants to set the terms with him, the top guy. And those men are not going for that bullshit. She is waiting on a man she can manipulate. Unfortunately for her, too many of them watch my content, and they're safe from her.
And so I would expect that a man is the same thing, because when you're disciplined, whatever you do the most is what compounds in your life. I could see it. I could tell. There's a lot of things you could tell by looking at a person, talking with a person, getting to know a person. Why would I not give a shot to a person that makes $70,000 a year? I could put you on. Hell, I could even hire you. Come on, let's work together. We could do all of that. But as far as my man, because this is the thing, I refuse to give into a life where I start to feel like I can't have it all.
Really, nigga?
That's where the insatiableness and the gluttony, because if you already have it all, why do you need a man to give you more? Like, that's the part of the conversation that I just cannot fully understand.
I bet this government shutdown makes some of y'all women change y'all mind about having a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 man now, huh? Before, a lot of y'all girls were saying, I don't want no man that make $30,000 a year. He got to make at least 90 bands. He got to at least make 100 bands. Huh. Okay. I bet you these men out here that's making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year means something now. I bet you recognize their value now. But before, y'all would look past those men. Y'all will look right past them. Oh, he don't make enough money. Oh, he can't support my lifestyle. But can you support your own lifestyle right now? Huh? Okay. You keep on looking past them $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year men if you want to. Y'all better recognize, at least they ain't out here selling drugs, slinging crack, slinging dope. At least they get up and go to work. Okay?
Shalom. I would like to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi Bahashem Rakakodash. I would like to give the honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, pushing this word across the four corners of the world. So as you just saw from this opening video, Eve made a pretty good, sensible talking point in her video in regard to how the nobility of Esau Edom through Trump is instituting this current government shutdown, which is a lack of funding for these federal operations. And that's affecting a lot of people. Hence the current pause in the SNAP benefits. And where you have around America, these various Department of Human Services are announcing SNAP benefits will not be available starting November the 1st. And even within some cases around America, you have certain states stating how they cannot fill the gap if the federal shutdown cuts SNAP benefits. So as you can see through the spirit, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is definitely plaguing these prideful Americans. And that's why it stated within 2 Ezra 8:50, how for many great miseries should be done to them in the latter time shall dwell within the world, because they have walked in great pride. And the tables are definitely turning within America, and really throughout the whole world, because that vibration of America, aka Babylon the Great, has really spiritually and mentally contaminated or corrupted these other nations for the worse. That's beautiful to see within this day of time how Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is shifting things that was once turned upside down, and where we can gradually see our kingdom is coming. So therefore the tables are turning, which is an idiom that I looked up upon Google AI overview, and it states a reversal of a situation where the power dynamic or fortune shifts so that a person who was in a disadvantaged position now has the advantage. Because the modern man, especially the Israelite man, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, has definitely been within a disadvantage within this feminized society, America. And you have these two components that was engineered by the so-called powers that be on the left-hand side that really has alternated humanity's way of thinking, which is practical, rational, or logical sense. And those two components are feminism and social media that really has destroyed the dynamic between man and woman, just totally distorted the natural order of things. And that's by Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. And the beautiful thing about all of this mass confusion within this American society is that the truth is springing forth up. And where you see countless of videos of Eve coming to the realization how feminism and social media has really immoralized modern society. And where you will have videos of Eve and modern women in general will go upon social media and just proudly boast about their delusional requirements within the dating world. How a man has to be making 6 figures a year or more, has to be a certain height and weight, has to have a 6-pack, has to be well endowed. But meanwhile, the woman has multiple children by multiple men, out of shape, not feminine, very argumentative, and not making anywhere near those financial standards that she has required for the man. You know, just totally confusion. And again, Esau Edom created all of this mass confusion within this American society that has spiritually intoxicated the rest of these nations, which is that Babylonian wine. So a great humbling is coming to America, and especially upon these modern women. And that takes me right to Proverbs 29 verse 23 within the NLT. And that's the New Living Translation. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. So by Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi engineering the so-called powers that be on the left-hand side, which is the tabernacle of Esau Edom, and to implement these draconian measures upon this American society, is causing a great humbling to these powerful modern women, to the point now that they are begging on social media either for monetary funding or having a man within their life, and how they are tired of this falsehood called feminism. And now a lot of them are stating how they want to be under the order of a man. So if that economic squeeze or pressure is getting to these women right now, where things are still within so-called normalcy, you know, this society is still so-called functioning, then how much more when Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi orchestrate the so-called powers that be on the left-hand side to really bring that economic squeeze and pressure upon these Americans to the point it's going to be a digital system and where human aid is not going to be involved. And your food is going to be rationed out. You're going to have a digital universal basic income, a digital social credit score. So things are definitely transitioning for the worse within this American society. And for us, that's the hopeful elect, we want and need these type of catastrophes to really be applied within this society. And that's because this is all ushering in an Israelite sovereign kingdom. So therefore, the sooner the better. And within this global shift, you can see how things are transitioning for the better for men. How the value of masculinity is being more popularized. You know, men standing on business, being in order. More men are adopting the customs of wearing beards. But that type of value is only to a certain degree with these modern men. But that true peculiar treasure is the elect men of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. And that takes me right to Micah 3:17. And they should be mine, said the Lord Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels. And once you look up that word jewels within the blue letter, one of the definitions says valued property or valued treasure, which are the elect men out of the nation of Israel, the future rulers within the next kingdom to come, and that's the kingdom of heaven, under our king or Malak Yahawashi. And according to Isaiah 32:1 within the NLT, it says, look, a righteous king is coming, referring to Yahawashi, and honest princes shall rule under him. And that's referring to Yahawashi's day ones, the next governing body within the next kingdom to come, and that's the kingdom of heaven. So therefore, this peculiar treasure, again, these elected men out of the nation of Israel, the 144,000, are greatly admired within the eyes of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. And it says, and I will spare them as a man spared his own son that served him. And when you spare something, that means that you are refraining from harming or destroying, like you're saving it for your use or purpose. And let's get right quick, 2 Ezra 9 verse 21 within the GNT, and that's the Good News translation. And it says right here, when I saw this, I found it very difficult to spare them, but I saved a few for myself, again referring to those honest princes that's going to rule under Yahawashi, those elected men out of the nation of Israel. One grape out of a bunch and one tree out of a great forest. So let them perish, which is referring to the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. And a big bulk of the 2/3 consists of you wicked Israelite women that still want to be spiritually and mentally conjoined unto the current fashion of this world. And that's including feminism, this Babylonian wine, the various Satanism of Esau Edom, homosexuality, pedophilia, and the list goes on. Like all types of wicked inventions. So therefore, let them perish, all those people who were born only to be lost. But let my chosen people be kept safe. Again, being spared. Those from whom I worked so hard to bring to perfection. Because within the eyes of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, the elect are considered as that comely, delicate bride. And that takes me right to Isaiah 4:1, you know, the classic popular scripture that a lot of brothers, starting from our elder apostles on down, are bringing up this vibration through the spirit much more within their lessons in this day of time. Because the times that we are in, it's all alluding unto this particular scripture right here. And as you can see from the heading, a remnant prepared. And it says, and in that day, 7 women, and the word 7 goes into completion. Now it could be 7, it could be 70, it could be 700. As it stated, who knows the mind of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi? Like they are far out. So again, that 7 means completion. So in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So what type of great humbling is going to come upon these modern Israelite women and to adopt this mindset right here as we are reading? Could it be this current government shutdown that's going to cause a ripple effect of many other great miseries within America and throughout the four corners of the world? Very likely so. Because this devil, Esau Edom, he knows that he has but a short time. And also they're getting older at that. So they want to see the final touches upon their left-handed NWO. And that's going to be by this digital great reset. A digital global paradigm. And as it's stated within Isaiah 19:16 within the NLT, how the Egyptians, referring to the Americans, should be weak as women, like going into these so-called mighty men, how they're going to be crying and weeping bitterly when all these devastations come upon America, then how much more the actual weaker vessel? Again, the woman. Like, what's going to compromise her to have her within this mindset begging? And she's not going to be begging for just any ordinary man. No, it's going to be an elected Israelite man that have that light of Yahawashi. That's why it's stated within Zechariah 8:23, how within those days it should come to pass, how they're going to take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is with you. So therefore, it's going to be a certain vibration upon these elected Israelite men in that day. We are soon approaching those times. And also within the book of Jeremiah, the 9th chapter, it goes into how a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. And it also goes into how teach your daughters wailing, and everyone her neighbor lamentation. So as you can see through the spirit, it's about to soon be some great devastations and catastrophes be instituted within this American society, and to have these powerful, complacent American women, and especially the ones of our nation, to be within the mindset by stating how they're going to mentally discard the falsehoods of feminism, the negative effects of social media, because at the end of the day, social media was a gift and a curse. And of course, that gift is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI spiritually transcended out of social media, to the point where it says within Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come, which goes into a particular sound, hence that true testimony of Yahawashi. As is stated within Romans 10:18, how their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world, via that spiritual vehicle, aka the internet or the World Wide Web, which did the heavy lifting unto the elect of the nation Israel, and to receive this glorious gospel of Yahawashi. So that's that gift. And of course, the curse. Look at the prideful behaviors, mannerisms, and talking points that came out of social media, especially from these modern women. Like, they talk a lot of cash money shit over the years, to the point where so many countless of modern men are fed up, and now they are demanding for you powerful modern women to stand upon those boastful words. And also where more men are tapping into that vibration of masculinity, no one's coming to your aid anymore, especially financial aid. And now we're coming into those times where the chickens are coming home to roost. And now you're being held accountable for all your wicked deeds, and really those unholy sacrifices that you offer up. Like all of those delusional requirements. And social media really has exposed modern women, like their way of thinking, to the point now where the average man is not even considering dating, and yet alone marrying. So now that masculine spirit is within the air, where more men are now being cold-hearted, more selective and choosy. But that's only to a certain extent, because those real men, again referring to those elected Israelite men, are definitely going to be very selective and choosy when all hell breaks loose within this American society. So with that, hopefully you all was edified, you all stay strong, keep pushing forward. Shalom.